Welcome back to Reviews and Rankings with Robby Sobel. Today I'll be taking a look at the 2020 film, The Grudge. The Grudge is a 2020 film directed by Nicolas Pesce and stars Andrea Riseborough, John Cho, Betty Gilpin, and Lynn Shaye. The story of The Grudge takes place in various timelines and is told in a non-linear sequence of events which eventually all come together. The first story begins the film as we follow the events of the first Grudge movie back in 2004, as we see live-in nurse Fiona Landers leaving a cursed home in Tokyo as she warns her co-worker that she has witnessed disturbing events inside. As she travels back home to the United States at 44 Rayburn Drive, she arrives to greet her husband and daughter, but it appears that the curse has followed her home. 1 year later in 2005, real estate agents Peter and Nina Spencer are expecting their first child, but are told by the doctor that their baby would have a genetic disorder and are unsure how to move forward. During this time, Peter looks to sell the home previously occupied by the Landers family, but upon entering the home, finds no one inside. The curse begins to follow Peter, causing horror to be inflicted on himself and his wife. In 2006, Detective Muldoon and her son moved to the town just months after the death of her husband. Along with Detective Goodman, they find a charred body in the woods, which is a result of a car crash happening a few months prior. When the victim is revealed to have ties back to 44 Rayburn Drive, Goodman refused to enter the home and reveals his past, linking himself to the home. Muldoon does her own investigating, which uncovers that living inside the house is a mentally unstable woman who has her own history and ties back to the curse. The film enters the final act, as Muldoon attempts to put an end to the curse once and for all. The Grudge franchise can trace its steps back to 1998 in Japan, when writer-director Takashi Shimizu created the franchise with the release of 2 short films, followed by several feature-length movies. Known as Ju-on, the series became so popular that an American remake was released in 2004 starring Sarah Michelle Gellar, and has since spawned 2 sequels. While the franchise has been a mainstay in Japanese cinema, the last American Grudge film was released direct-to-video in 2009 until a rebooted sequel was announced for 2020. The newest Grudge film is produced in part by Sam Raimi, with Nicolas Pesce having been brought on board to direct. Initially viewed as a remake, the film is actually a sequel, telling the events of the curse in the United States shortly after what took place in the original 2004 American version of The Grudge. While the cast is mostly solid, with John Cho, Lynn Shaye, and Andrea Riseborough doing a fine job, the film fails to live up to the hype of the franchise's reputation and is often too silly for its own good. The scares are cheap and cliché, and the writing is cringeworthy, with actress Jacki delivering lines that had many in the audience at the theater laughing. While The Grudge is a professionally looking film, with adequate cinematography and set pieces, it feels more like a horror movie that would be dumped on Netflix with minimal promotion and used for the viewer to kill time on a rainy day. With a Rotten Tomatoes critics and audience score matching at just 20%, The Grudge appears to be bringing critics and moviegoers together for all the wrong reasons. While there's certainly been more offensive horror films to be released in theaters recently, The Grudge of 2020 is uninspired and lackluster and doesn't add much to the franchise. Coming only recommended to those who are fans of the series and want to continue the story, or happen to have 90 minutes to kill, the newest Grudge falls flat with a 2 out of 5-star rating. I hope you enjoyed my review for The Grudge, but what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. And if you could, hit the like button and subscribe. If you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Robby_upgrade. So let's keep watching movies, and thanks for checking out the channel.